Hey guys, Lieutenant Colonel Baker here on the lesson 5 of the personal growth and behaviors. It's ethical concepts in you. Right? It's all about trying to not operate in the gray area. Black or white is what you should strive for, but sometimes we call it the gray area. There's ethical decisions that you'll have to make as a leader, as a person, that sometimes are extremely difficult. And hopefully this class can help you navigate some of those difficulties. Right? As always, here's our essential question. How can your cadet code of conduct apply to your life beyond the junior ROTC? You may be asking, what is this cadet code of conduct? You guys know it as the cadet creed. Okay. Now, if we look at it in some of these words in there, it says, I do not lie, cheat, or steal, and will always be accountable for my actions and deeds. So that one sentence there means a lot. If every one of us, to include me and every person in the world, would not lie, cheat, or steal and be held accountable for your actions and deeds, life would be so much easier for all of us, okay? But the cadet creed is your cadet code of conduct, okay? You should be able to apply that beyond high school and junior ROTC. Okay? You should be patriotic. Okay? You guys are the future of the United States of America. You're young. I'm old. I'm 54. I'm on the downslope. Okay? I've got less years to live than I have already lived. Okay? You should always work hard to improve your mind and strengthen your body. Okay? You should always be in shape. You should always read books. You should always want to learn to be better. Okay? You should always seek that mantle of leadership. Okay? Our Constitution is the law of the land that everyone should uphold. Okay? So there's a lot that's said on that cadet creed that means more than just standing in front of the formation and reciting it ad nauseum. Okay? I want you guys to actually look at those words the next time. All right, so what do you guys know about ethics in everyday life? Okay, now let's see. Okay, so true or false? If you say an act is right, that means you approve of it. Okay, okay. That doesn't mean that you approve of it. Okay, so there's really no right or wrong answer to these next two questions. And then if you say an act is wrong, that means that society disapproves of it. No, not necessarily. Okay. If you're a religious person, you might have different views than the society has on what is normal and what is right. Right? That's what we mean about ethical dilemmas. Here's your learning objectives. Okay? How ethical qualities affect leadership. Okay? You have to be ethical in your decisions as a leader. And sometimes it is very, very hard. And hopefully you guys won't have to deal with that, but you should be prepared to deal with it at any rate. Right? Now, how do you think everyday people make their ethical decisions? Right? You're in college and you're not doing so well in physics, and you need to pass this class to get to graduate, to go into the career field you're looking for. All of a sudden your buddy says, hey, I got all the answers to the final exam. Okay? You'll pass with flying colors, no issues. All you got to do is give me $100. Now, do you give him the $100, take the test, pass it, and move on? Or do you say no, and you continue to study and work and strive to pass that test? Okay, that's an ethical decision that you might have to deal with. Now, certain text messages that are sent to you bring up ethical decisions on what you do with them. Right? Whether you delete them or forward them on, or you tell your parent or an adult about it. Okay? How you deal with those says a lot about you. And that's what we talk about, your value system that you have. Okay? So We all have personal standards, and how do ethics relate to your own personal standards? Okay. By the way, here's the definition of ethics. Okay. Adults make complex ethical decisions every day. We also know from psychology that children about the age of 3 begin to develop a conscience, a sense of right or wrong. Okay. Ethics, rules of conduct that people should follow. Okay. Rules of conduct that people should follow. Okay. So now we're going to view the animation about ethics.
In Unit 1, you learned about ethics. Ethics are the guidelines that we follow to do the right thing. Ethics is a branch of philosophy. It studies people's most fundamental and basic beliefs and how they are justified. Some ethical standards in our society are telling the truth, keeping promises, respecting people and property. Remember the 4 basic rules to ethics? They are: do good, avoid evil, be fair and unbiased, and do not show favoritism. Treat others the way you want to be treated, with respect and dignity, and be responsible for your thoughts and your conduct. Ethics defines the rules of conduct that people should follow. Rules of conduct may change in society over years, but the fundamentals of ethics stay the same. Conduct is a key word in the definition of ethics, so they really go hand in hand. You have the free will to make decisions and act on those decisions. You face ethical dilemmas every day you are at school. What if your best friend sends you a text message with all the correct answers to a test you are about to take? What will your decision or conduct say about your ethics? In this lesson, you'll learn more about ethics and their role in your personal code of conduct.
Okay, so this says debate with your peers whether concern for others and integrity are aspects of ethics. What do you guys think? Okay, concern for others, meaning remember that leadership skill of empathy. You put yourself in that person's shoes and how they're feeling with a decision that's been given. Okay, and integrity. Okay, what does the word integrity mean? You guys remember? Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. Okay? Does that sound like what ethics are? Remember, ethics are rules of conduct that people should follow. Right? Okay, so we will engage in an instructor-led discussion on these relationship between the personal and professional standards. A lot of times, the way you act at home should be the way you act at school. You should not have 2 different sides of your personality when dealing with people. Okay? Your personal conduct is very important in leadership. If I go around stealing from people on my own time, and yet on my professional time, I'm a leader supposedly, and I expect nobody to lie, cheat, or steal. Okay? It's very important to have both of those in succinct duality, right? So blank defines the rules of conduct that people should follow. Okay? That's right, that's ethics. Right? There are a combination of factors that shape our concepts of right and wrong. What factors contribute to what we believe to be right and wrong? Okay, all 3 of these things make up what shape our concepts of right and wrong. Okay? So think about how you demonstrate common courtesies in everyday life. You don't want to go around being somebody that's morally and ethically bankrupt and they're just not good people. They're what I call dirtbags. Okay, I know you guys have all, or jacklegs. How about that? That's my other favorite word. Okay. So, develop a single statement poster about the importance of common courtesy. Okay. How about respect? This one shows respect for elders. Okay. It could be, how do you speak on the phone? Speak clearly. Don't use cuss words. Call that person back immediately that's left a voicemail. Okay. Being responsible for your guests. You have a guest in your house. Have you ever seen your parents treat them differently than they treat, because they're their guests, and you're treating them with even more respect than they give for their children? Okay. So provide the answers to the following questions about integrity, personal standards, and ethics. Okay. We went over what integrity was, and that is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles and uprightness. Right? Personal standards. Those are courtesies or behaviors towards others. This shows that you can act thoughtful in a civilized manner to people. Okay? And of course, the moral conduct of, like, speak slowly when you're talking to somebody, when you're on the phone, and do not eat, drink, or chew gum while you're on that. I mean, that's common courtesy, right? Cellular courtesy, cell phone. Don't jack around on your cell phone while you're at the dinner table. Try that with a date, right? If both of your heads are buried in a phone and you guys don't talk one word to each other. Right? All right, so these are some questions that I want you to ponder. If you do what you're thinking of doing, would you be willing to have your action made into a law that requires everyone to act in the same way? Are you kidding me? There is no way in God's green earth I would want that to happen. Look, there are times when all of us have some weird thoughts that we don't want coming out of our head. Okay? That's just the way humans are. And I wouldn't want laws to come out for some of the dumb stuff that I think of. It would be a messed up world. So if you are considering using someone else for your own personal gain, would you allow yourself to be used in that same way? I'm telling you what, using somebody, that's just a terrible thing to do. I don't care who you are. You don't use people to your advantage, okay? As a leader, you can't use your people that way, or they'll never follow you. You guys are a team, and you want to go forward as a team. You want to succeed as a team, okay? Not just using them for their own personal gain. It says your team could win the game by violating a rule. Before you call this play, would you be upset if the losing team took the same action? I can tell you right now, I'd be upset. Right? They'd be cheating, and then you'd be cheating if you did the same thing. And that comes down to your morals and values that you were taught. Okay? Hopefully you guys all have good morals. Okay? If there is very little that is hard in what you want to do, what kind of person will you become if you choose easy for everything you do in life? Okay? There's something to, we talk about that word in leadership called resiliency, bouncing back from tough times. How do you get bigger and stronger in your muscles? Okay, you actually overwork them and tear your muscles. Okay, and they bounce back stronger so you can lift even more weight. Look, you're going to face adversity in life, but you have to figure out how you're going to bounce back from that adversity. It should make you stronger and better. Okay? One, you know what not to do, and two, you don't you know what not to do, so you're not going to do that the next time, and you recognize it well ahead of time, and so you can navigate that minefield easier this time. Always learn from your mistakes. If you never learn from your mistakes, then you're going to keep repeating the same ones over and over and over and over again. And that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results each time. Okay? Now, are your personal standards and professional standards similar? Okay. Well, let's let me find personal, your standards for being, okay. They should be similar. Okay. Remember I talked about acting one way versus the other at home and on the job? Okay. As a leader, you should be transparent and you should act the same way all the time. Okay. So you always practice the good all the time so you get better at it. Right? Now think about the personal values, about how personal values relate to your personal code of conduct. Right? So the 4 values are personal values. Our personal values guide our conduct. We get our personal values in many different ways: parents, families, friends, church, schools. Right? Freedom, happiness, equality, and peace are some of the values that all Americans hold dear. Okay? Personal values may develop over time due to a number of factors. Right? Now, if you're in the military, we have a value is the public good. The aim of our defense is to ensure the security of the United States. Okay, that is it. Now, prudent values. Prudent values involve using good judgment when considering a likely course of action. These values may guide our behavior. For example, it is prudent to stay out of trouble with the law, to maintain your physical and mental health, and to establish a savings account. Sometimes people do not think ahead and therefore are not prudent. Sometimes they let values guide their conduct, such as spending money for the latest iPhone instead of putting money in a savings account. Right? Now we have conventional values. Conventional values are generally accepted and enforced within a given social order. They are binding upon the members of that social order. A social order might be as inclusive as the whole country or as specific as a sub-society within a larger group, such as members of a church or high school or the United States military. Right? Respect for the elders is an example of a conventional value. We have moral values. Okay? While ethics are typically the basis for accepted rules of conduct in a society, as we stated earlier, ethics also have to do with the struggle between good and evil. Right? You have the devil and the angel on both shoulders, one on each. Okay, the ethics of a society are written or stated to help us to understand how we should act. Okay? I mean, what's going on right now in our society? Do you think some of our moral values or ethical values for society are being turned upside down? Right? Think about that. Think about what's going on right now. Right? Okay, so which of the following is the 4 types of values? That's right, morals. What core value is common to all U.S. military? So I haven't even gotten to that. So let's go to the core values. Okay, here's the United States Army core value. Okay, it says many people know that the 7 terms: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage mean. Soldiers in the Army learn these values in detail during their basic training. From then on, they live them every day in everything they do, whether they're on the job or off. And that's talking about how your professional and your personal values in line with each other. Right? You see somebody that needs some help on the highway, you're going to go help them. Okay. And that's just selfless service. That's you treating people with respect. Okay. We've learned those 7 core Army values. Okay. So which one do you think it is? And that's right. It's honor. Okay. Honor is a matter of carrying out, acting, and living the values of respect, duty, loyalty, selfless service, integrity, personal courage, and everything you do. Everything you do. Not one time, not twice. Every single time you should do the 7 Army values, okay? Even if you're not in the military, that's a good thing to follow, okay? True or false, if you're expecting an emergency phone call, it is appropriate to leave your cell phone on at a social event. Yeah, right. It's false, right? All right, so think about the values of military services. So here we need to complete exercise 1. And here it is, the core values of the United States. So you need to choose 2 U.S. military services and identify the similarities of the values within the 2 services. Use the chart below to complete your analysis. Okay? You can pull up the core values for every service. It's pretty easy. You just do a Google search and then you got to fill it out. Yes, this is part of your homework that you'll be graded on. Okay? All right, so which of the 7 Army core values do you relate closely to? Okay. Everyone's different. Okay. So think about how ethics relates to your personal code of conduct. Right? How does it relate to your code of conduct with your ethics? Right? Remember, if you just do, I will not lie, cheat, or steal, and always be held accountable for my actions and everything that you do, and that sentence in the cadet creed, you are going to be a successful person as you go out into the world after high school. Okay? All right. Choose the best word that completes the sentence below. Your conscience is the awareness of your desire to act properly when improper acts are committed. Right? Yeah, the small voice in your head that says, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay? I know it's wrong. If you are one that is honest and sincere with others and follows a consistent code of conduct, you would be considered a person of integrity. The study of people's most fundamental and basic beliefs and how they are justified is known as the philosophy, okay? Not ethics. Blank is the rule of conduct that people should follow. So it's your ethics. Those are the rules that everyone should follow. Okay? Blank standards are the person's standards of behavior that help guide them in what is not acceptable to do. Your moral standards. Someone is said to be blank if they handle matters wisely and use good judgment or common sense. Right? Prudent. If someone is studying the mind and behavior, they are studying psychology. You guys probably thought it was philosophy again. Our ideals, beliefs, interests, likes, and dislikes that we use every day to make decisions are that's our value system. Remember we talked, and the Army has the 7 core values, right? That loyalty, that spell leadership. So go back and look at your cadet creed with a different view now that you've gone through this ethical concepts in you, and see how that actually applies, okay? Thank you for your time.